Civ 7 is finally here, but there's a lot to learn. Welcome to the complete beginner's guide to Civ 7. Let's get into it. First up, we have leaders. There's a lot to choose from and each one comes with a different bonus. We can now also level up our leaders. When we do this, we unlock mementos. These are little added bonuses you can slot in and take into a game with you. They can provide benefits like an extra attribute point or even extra sight range on your scouts. Definitely worth leveling up your leaders. Have a look through all the unique bonuses and choose one that fits your playstyle. Next, we choose a starting age. There are 3 ages in Civ 7, Antiquity, Exploration, and Modern. We'll stick with Antiquity for now. Then we come to the civilizations themselves. In Civ 7, you can now play as any Civ with any leader, pretty much. The Civs also come with unique bonuses, buildings and units. After that, we can mess with the settings. I like to play on deity, but obviously for your first game, choose something more easy. The game speed, leave it as standard, but if you want something faster, use quick. Then the map. Continents Plus is the go-to, but I have also come to like Archipelago. And finally, the map size, set it to standard. We can also head into the advanced settings, and I like to change the age length to long. This really lets you get a feel for each age before moving on into the next. Then you can also add or remove AI from this tab. Let's head into the game. So, here we begin with this unit. It's not a settler, it's actually a founder. A founder will settle your capital. This is the only time you'll get a founder in the game. Once you've founded your capital, we get a choice. You can either build a warrior or a scout. This unit is essentially free. The scout is always the right decision, unless you spawn next to something very bad. Around our capital, we have resources. Each one gives different bonuses. For example, cotton gives 2 food and 2 production. Silver gives 20% gold towards purchasing units, and gypsum gives 2 production to the capital, but 4 production to any other city. When you work a tile with a resource, it gets added to your resources tab. Some are only usable in cities, some in both towns and cities, and some empire-wide. The point is, try to settle near resources so you can work them and add them to your empire. Then we come on to the tech and civic trees. The tech tree is advanced by your science yield. The more science you have, the faster you can research. The same is true for the civic tree and culture. In the tech tree, you can unlock buildings, units, and bonuses to your yields. In the civic tree, you unlock governments, policies, and wonders. Both trees are essential for any playthrough to advance through the game. Attribute points are points you gain from completing certain stuff in each game. You can use them to purchase attribute bonuses like more production towards settlers, more science, and even more culture. They are very powerful, so keep your eye out for them. Your towns and cities will grow constantly. When they grow in population, you are able to grow your settlement's borders. When you do this, you get to choose a tile to work. Some tiles will provide food, some production, and even sometimes gold. When you work a tile, it'll cause a culture bomb, which will expand your borders in the direction of the tile you work. If you have resources in your borders, I recommend you work those first. When exploring around the map, you'll come across these goodie huts. When you send your unit over to them, they will activate a narrative prompt. It will give you an option between 2 outcomes, each offering different things. It's best to choose the one that's going to help you the most at that time. There are plenty of goodie huts to go around, so don't worry. Whilst exploring, you'll also come across these guys. They are known as independent people. Sometimes they can be hostile, but sometimes they'll be neutral. When hostile, they'll send scouts out to your borders and then follow that with warriors and slingers to take your city. When neutral, they won't bother you. To deal with these people, you can either absolutely conquer them with your units, or spend your influence to befriend them and get benefits when you become their leader. Eventually, you'll come across another civilization. When you meet them, you'll be prompted to greet them. You can either do a friendly greet for an influence cost, a normal greet for a no influence cost, or a hateful one. Each one will affect your relationship with the other leader, so choose carefully. Once you've met a leader, you have some options. You can start endeavors with them, gaining both leaders extra bonuses to food, science, culture, you name it. Or they might even offer you one. You can also denounce them, causing your relationship to suffer, but opening opportunities for war. Every decision you make will require influence. Influence is a new currency in Civ 7. It's important to keep a healthy bank of it. I'd say at least above 60 at all times. Getting influence is difficult though. Not many things give you influence, especially early on, so when you do get it, spend it wisely. Next up, we have the Pantheon. You want to rush towards this Pantheon every game as the bonuses are too good to ignore. To rush it, just go straight into this civic and you'll unlock it. In my opinion, this Pantheon bonus is the best as it gives you a way to get a lot of influence early on, but feel free to look through them as they all have their own strengths. When it comes to buildings in Civ 7, there are different types. We have warehouse buildings that provide flat bonuses to your settlement tiles, adjacency buildings that provide better yields by using their adjacency bonuses, and wonders that cost a lot of production to build but provide massive benefits. You have to build buildings in a chain starting from your palace. So if you wanted to build a building 2 tiles away from your palace, you'd have to make your way out first placing a building on the tile next to your palace. This is a big change from Civ 6, so make sure you learn it. When you start expanding out, you use settlers. These guys settle towns, not cities. Towns work differently to cities in a couple of ways. Towns use gold to build buildings and units. They only have access to certain buildings. They also convert all of their production into gold. And you can convert towns to cities using gold. When they reach population 7, they can be specialized. They can become a farming town, gaining more food on farming tiles, or even become a mining town, gaining more production from mines and quarries. But when you give them a specialization, they will send all of their food to the nearest city, allowing your city to grow a lot faster, but stopping the growth of that town. When you research Code of Laws Civic, it will unlock merchants. Merchants will gain you access to other civilizations' resources. They have to be a certain distance away to be eligible for trading, and you will have to walk your trader all the way to the territory and then hit the trade button to actually begin the trade. Whilst playing your game as Civ, you will be unlocking legacy points in each legacy path. There's one for science, culture, economics, and militaristic. Each one will require quests to complete to advance through the path. Doing this will grant you legacy points at the end of the age, which will transfer into the next one, granting some powerful buffs. When closing in on the end of the age, you'll be met with a crisis. These are worldwide and every civilization will have to deal with them. Some are fine and some are devastating. Each one will require you to slot in a crisis policy that will affect your game. Choose wisely and you'll be able to get through the crisis. Once the crisis is over, you'll transition into the next age of exploration, which requires a whole other video to explain. So if you want to see that, then let me know in the comments. Don't forget to give that like and subscribe button a cheeky tickle, and thanks for watching.